It's getting harder and harder. It's getting harder and harder. It's getting harder and harder. The price I pay for being apart. It's getting harder and harder.
Yeah.
It's getting harder and harder. To find a way.
J. Deuce. Check. I used to get excited, uniform got me ignited. It's like when I decided, recruiter had just invited me over. He told me that I was perfect, said everyone had a purpose, but only few and proud could fight insurgents. And I proceed to tell him the streets will make me a felon. I need to get out of town right now, sooner the better. So I signed the dotted line, party with some friends of mine. Had my little going away, cause I was out of time. Time to make my mama proud, flying San Diego bound. Touchdown, met my drill instructor with his round brown. Up, down, push, as the weakness leaves the body. Love the pain, love the training, hand to hand was like karate. Love my M16, matter of fact that was my first love. Miss Expert by 2 points, that was the worst stuff. Boot camp, cause truth is 13 weeks will fly by. Graduation standing tall, pride was sky high. But since then,
it's getting harder and harder.
Yeah.
It's getting harder and harder.
Every day,
it's getting harder and harder. The price I pay for being apart. It's getting harder and harder.
every rank,
It's getting harder and harder.
yeah.
To find a way.
Yeah. Yo, and I'm not really complaining, I'm saying I'm staying loyal, semper-fi, do or die, and I would die for this here soil, always staying faithful, though it's painful cause they spoiled. We got mothers of America embarrassing and destroying everything that we worked for, war after war. Now it seems like the new model's hardcore, no more. I remember E4, I was laying on the floor, initiation didn't stop until I made it out the door. But the same ones pinning me was the first in defending me. They would be the first to protect me from the enemy. Training didn't bother me, my sergeant, he was proud of me. From that day on I learned the true meaning of camaraderie. But now it's all politics, hippies and ecologists. Safety stand down, PowerPoints and I hate all of it. We kick ass and take names till the media gets in. I love wearing the uniform, but lately it's just been harder and harder.
It's getting harder and harder.
Veterans too.
It's getting harder and harder.
Every day.
It's getting harder and harder. The price I pay for being apart. It's getting harder and harder. It's getting harder and harder. To find a way. Touch the sky.
Every day goes by, gets harder and harder. You're dealing with the vid, life's darker and darker. No love for a veteran, respect's at the low. Every question we all asking, they be like, I don't know. Non-profit organizations, they around to use us up, pretending they all care, but all they want is more bucks. The medication we all getting, no charges, all free. The side effects is suicidal. Do they wanna off me? No one listen when we speak. We ain't important anymore. We was an asset back then, but thrown away after war. It's kinda like we ignored. Life is not like before. I'm sick of asking all these questions. Pretty soon I'm kicking doors, grabbing on their throats, screaming loud, help me please, don't make me your enemy. I just want a better me, but it's hard when you don't see or even listen when we speak. It's just hard, it's so hard, it's even harder to breathe. Yeah,
It's getting harder and harder.
Yeah.
It's getting harder and harder.
Every day,
It's getting harder and harder.
Yeah.
The price I pay for being apart. It's getting harder and harder.
every rank,
It's getting harder and harder.
yeah.
To find a way. Touch the sky. It's getting harder and harder. Harder and harder. Harder and harder. It's getting harder and harder. It's getting harder and harder.
Right now.
Hey, war fighters, get her done!
Program set up for them to get information.
Love it, love it, love it, love it. Thank you.
All right. So, oh wait, I have to pick it over there. There we go. All right. So that was a little clip from Florida from when we were out there with Jeff for one of the shows, and Wendy Brevet Limousines out there. Great people. They hooked us up and they got us backstage to Larry Cable Guy show or whatever. Mm-hmm. And it's funny because when I tell people I met Larry the Cable Guy, they look at me, who? And I'm like, Tomater. Oh, you met Tomater?
Mater, huh?
Dude's done so much stuff, and that's how people know him is from Tomater. So my bad is Looking Glass. Gotta let you over here a little bit.
Quiet.
That's tight. So today's topic was going to be oh, today's going to be caregiving. We're going to talk about caregiving due to some recent interactions that I've had with people trying to help me, and I just don't want to deal with it, and I get frustrated very quickly.
And why do you get frustrated very quickly? That's so that we wanted to let everyone know, like, the insight on what it's like to, you know, come back and
Deal with assholes like me.
deal with him, and then him also deal with the assholes of the world who don't understand him. And how to counter that. Some people don't know how to counter those moods if you don't know anyone that has served.
And there's the thing though too, is that it's like you gotta realize that like it's hard to you can't like preempt it, because then you can tell when people are trying to be like walking around kids gloves around you, because that gets frustrating too. I mean, like you can't like, I don't know how to explain it. I can tell when people are trying to be sensitive around me or something, but that pisses me off.
Oh, when they're trying to be mindful of your feelings?
Yeah, when they're trying to like, yeah, because they don't want to set me up. That'll set me off. You know what I mean? Like,
it's a very confusing world.
It is. It's like, just be yourself, don't be irritating, and we're fine. But if you're an irritating person, fix your face, or I'm going to have to fix it for you, because something about it is going to make me want to fix it.
Oh, that's the other thing we were talking about is Gonzo is so used to, you know, being sergeant, and his job in he was in was fixing stupid. So coming back to the civilian world where he's so used to fixing stupid, he now can't do that. Well, he could, but it's just frowned upon.
But I have a conniption every time I go out. And it's like, you know, because in the military, if you don't fix stupid when you see it, then you're just as guilty. You know what I mean? So when you're out here and you see stupidity, you want to fix it, but they'll shoot you. Like, and the way that we've been trained to deal with things and fix things is different than the regular societies used to are ready for. You know what I mean? Like, we're too blunt and direct, and yeah, they're not ready for that.
Yeah, and some people don't know how to take it in.
And it's like, and you got to approach it right. Like, you don't got to check in, but you got to explain yourself sometimes. For example, like today, I was calling about some help with some financial stuff. And the guy needed to know some situational background information, but he didn't say that. He just started asking questions very rudely.
Yep.
And that set me off. You know what I mean? And that's the type of stuff that keeps vets from getting help, because there's a certain way that things need to be presented. And I'm not saying you got to kiss anybody's ass. You got to be like, oh, let me, you know, be sensitive with this person. But there's a certain way you got to deal with it. You know, especially if you're in a public relations job. If your job is to deal with the public, you better well be able to handle people.
And people that come from that background as well.
Especially
him saying that he had all this, you know, experience and.
What's up, Dallas? Oh, sorry, I just seen my boy Dallas sign on. Hey, you guys touched down in Texas, man. I feel bad. He stopped by to see me on his way out, and I ended up getting a picture of him by my address thing out there because I was out.
Wow.
I was knocked out. Even the dogs didn't wake me up.
Really?
Yeah, I felt bad. He was on his way to Texas. They moved out there, and hopefully they're getting settled in now.
Where at?
I don't know where exactly at. Texas is a big ass state, so they're anywhere from Mexico to Arizona, somewhere in there, in that region.
In that southern region of the map, yeah.
Yeah, it's hot. I know it's hot there, so there's a lot of big hats, big boots,
big hats and taco hats. Yeah, I'm gonna get one.
There's a lot of whistling. No taco trucks.
What?
No,
really?
I don't know. I haven't been to Texas yet. You're going to Texas.
I'm going to Texas. I'll be out there at the end of the month.
You
for
ain't shit.
3 days.
You ain't shit.
Oh, I am. Go see Selena.
Selena. Is she buried out there? Or?
I don't know. That's a good question. I know that her makeup line is out there and her family. That's how much of a true fan I am, huh?
Watch out, your beaner's showing.
San Antonio. No me digas. San Antonio. Okay, so how far is that from Houston?
There's a delay too. So, yeah, see, it's throwing me off all the different things. So back to caregiving stuff.
Back to caregiving.
And one thing with that too is it took me so long to get it going because the application. There's an application to get an application, and then there's the actual application, and that's why I kept messing up. I kept filing for an application. They kept sending me an application. I'm like, I already filled this out, but it wasn't making no sense to me, the questions it was asking, because it wasn't for what I needed. So once I finally filled out the right form, stuff started happening real quick.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? You get a caregiver.
Okay.
So that's one thing to be cognizant of, is use the right forms. They kind of frown upon not using the right forms. And
Just a little bit. It'll delay a lot of stuff.
a little bit.
Just tad.
A little bit. But whatever, you know. I do things the hard way.
Yeah, you're known for that.
That's the way I learn. Like I said, you gotta learn how you learn. So I learned the hard way, so I just don't be mad about it no more. I just deal with it.
It's got to be done the hard way first.
Exactly. Otherwise, I'm not gonna learn.
Okay.
If it's just done for me, then I don't know.
Which is why I'm here.
See, to do the adult stuff, to care about the things that I don't tend to care about.
That you don't care about. That's okay.
Being a true sociopath, you have to
here we go.
understand the mentality of a sociopath.
Oh, I understand it.
We live by our own rules, not by man's laws, but by our own rules, and paying bills and stuff like that nonsense.
The nonsense of keeping the lights on. I mean,
well,
the funds are
that's
there.
when you remember that you got to pay it.
The funds are there.
That's why they got that shut off button. So they go, "Hey, you didn't pay us." So like, "Oh, that's right, my bad here." They, because they're funny about that. They want their money.
Heaven forbid they want the money.
Right, but then they make it illegal to do stuff to get your own power.
Yeah, those roadblocks. Man,
Whatever. So that's why I'm a sociopath, because I live by my laws. Because men's laws are dumb.
Because you like doing it the hard way.
And because men's laws are dumb. They tell you not to do everything. And that's just no fun.
Not to do everything?
Yes, everything. There's a taco truck. He said there's a taco truck in Texas. Thank God. Tony saved it. I think Tony, didn't you
Only
move out
one?
there? I think Tony's out there. Or he's in Arizona or something like that.
I did in San Antonio.
He probably took 209 with him too. You can take him out the hood, but you can't take the hood out of him. I swear.
Let him.
Hey, I was doing this dumb shit in Germany. So.
Took it all the way over there.
Yeah, I took it with me everywhere. So. I can tell you. And that's one thing I see people like look into the military as like an option to run away and stuff. And it's like, it helped me grow and it helped me realize some things that I needed to. But again, the hard way. There's a damn cat on my truck. And it also gave me the opportunity to become a felon, because the stuff that I was doing would have got me treatment program out here. But since I was a federal employee, it was federal charges. You know what I mean? So it can also, it's a double-edged sword, because it can also really screw your life if you're not serious about it, if you're not serious about making a change.
Right.
Because I know my cousin Nia, she's talking about going in, and initially she wasn't talking about it for the right reasons, and I was like, no, you're just going to set yourself up. That's why I don't want to work right now, because I'm like, I'm going to set myself up for lawsuits. I'm going to set myself up for like all types of stuff, man, my attitude and everything, especially because I don't need the money. So it's like, I'll be the worst employee ever. But then again, I'll probably lead like an employee revolution, because
you're gonna set everyone
yeah,
up.
I'll be like, no, hell no. We ain't standing for this, right?
Right?
We ain't working. Yeah, everybody's gonna be like,
Right.
how are you still eating? I'm retired, bro. I got a pension. Y'all ain't got other income?
Taking this home.
That's
I'm
your
good.
only job? Like, I'm an ass.
He would set off some shit at a workplace. I mean, he walked into mine and set off some eyes and thoughts and.
I had that effect. School was bad.
All he did
was
was
bad.
walk into my job, drop something off, and walk right back out.
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah, it was my.
It's an optometry.
It was
What
my
do you
10
expect?
minute
They got
break.
good eyes there.
They don't have X-ray vision, but they sure as hell thought they did.
They're trying.
They wanted to. They wanted to have X-ray
They wish they
vision.
did. They thought they hit
When he
you.
was walking out, who's that?
Everybody be bitching about my bike everywhere I go to now. It's so loud. You possess loud. It is adequately sound for a Harley.
Well, when you pull up to the front door, like you did at my job,
Where else you gonna pull up to? I ain't gonna park in the back.
the front door,
Yeah.
the walkway,
Mhm.
where you went up where the handicap go.
I am disabled.
You don't have a placard yet, boo boo.
I am a placard. I'm a walking placard. I got
This
holes in
is
me
true.
and shit. Like, tell me I ain't disabled. I was in Florida, and I went into the disabled, stall or whatever, because it's bigger.
Right.
I need some
'Cause
room.
you
I don't
need-
like a whole lot of people in there when I'm trying to handle business. So I went into the handicap. Well, this airport had an attendant. It had like a little bathroom dude there, I guess. Well, the little Hindu dude wasn't in his post when I went in, and he was when I came out.
He wasn't at his post.
And he was offended. This dude was so pissed off that I had used the damn handicap bathroom, and I wasn't handicapped.
How does he know?
That's what I said. I said, You mean I'm not handicapped? I said, that's 100% medically disabled. I go, from the military. You know why? And he goes, and kind of like looked at me. I was like, for killing people. I said, you want me you someone to come out with bathroom shit? He just like, oh, man, he got so shook. I'm like, tell me again which stall I'm supposed to use.
This is bringing it all back to a veteran and civilian world.
He wasn't ready. That dude was not ready. He was so offended by me using that bathroom, though. And I was just pissed because he insinuated that I was perfectly fine because he knew me or something.
Because he knew you. He knew all about you. Because you were in his realm.
And what he didn't know was that was the only one that had a little sink inside the stall. And I had just taken like some Valium or something. I was like freaking out for a second. You know what I mean? So I was like, I need to go wash my face real quick. So I went and hid there for a second. And it came out to that.
So you were slightly impaired.
Yeah, I was mad because he shocked me.
He scared you. He was mad because
he caught me way off guard because I did not expect to come out of that bathroom and be, you know, confronted about why I was using it. There was nobody in there either.
I've never been confronted.
It wasn't like there was like a one-legged dude standing there like waiting to use it. You know what I mean? Like I can understand there's like a little handicapped kid out there like, please sir, I couldn't use any other one. You know what I mean? Like no, there was nobody else in the bathroom.
He was gonna have an accent too, just like that.
Mm-hmm. All handicapped little kids talk like British children. Thought you knew that.
Master, may I have some more?
Please sir. That's how my dogs beg.
That's how your dogs beg? With a British accent.
Food for the poor. And then they start pushing each other. Get on my face. Yeah, we lost everybody. Nobody cares today. Nobody cares.
No people are commenting. Hi, everyone. For anyone else who just joined. Aww.
That's you that's viewing.
No, it's not. It's not me.
So what else about what type of stuff you run into with dealing with these organizations like that you call for me and stuff?
The ones that I called for you. So first, when I called the first one, they said they had no idea on how they were going to help you because who gave me the first number said, "Oh yeah, call these people and they're gonna help you right away." And this is a great organization.
Running around talking about that shit.
I know it's the run on you hate, but that's why I'm here. So we called the first one. They had no idea. Then they gave us another number, a direct number to this man who's in charge of this organization here locally. I don't want to say the name.
Yeah, I don't say names.
But yeah, and he's the one that started off with the very invasive questions about Gonzo's service and who he was and
does
why
he work? I
calling.
said no. He said, does he? Well, then what does he need a vehicle for? I don't feel like that's a question I should have to answer.
No one should have to. I'm an adult. I'm over 18. I need a vehicle. I don't care who you are, veteran or not.
I still got two, so I don't get you.
But still, yeah, the questions were crazy, and it set him off at first because honestly, my fault. I shouldn't have had the phone on speaker.
But I will get it's. I won't look at my mail. Like, I don't know. I just refuse to. I don't know. Things don't. I don't know, and that's why I think they authorized me here because I refuse to do stuff like that. Even when I know I need to, or even when I know it has to be done, like I just
put it off.
I'm capable of just going on without it. Lights go up. I got candles. I didn't need to do much at night anyway. I'm going to sleep.
It kind of tamed you a little bit.
Because I didn't have the ability to do anything.
No, and all in all, though, these organizations, I know they mean well, and if you have the patience to get through it, and hopefully you get someone on the other end who understands what you're going through and who you're going through it with, hopefully they have a big enough heart to have some patience and explain. That's
why you'll never hear me cry or bitch about my situation, because I know that there are so many organizations out there that are willing and capable of helping me out. I just don't. I don't have the patience for it. So that's why I get so frustrated when I hear all these vets out here bitching and crying about their situation when I know damn well there's plenty of organizations there.
There is, and I mean, it took 2 phone calls today to get through to one who seems to really want to help. And once we got down to it, and a few phone calls and hang-ups later, and I don't know if I want to talk to you anymore kind of deal today, but we got through to him. And,
it verified my veteran status real quick, though.
Yeah, it did verify the veteran status. Wait, hold on. See, you combat vet? Yes. Iraq? Yes.
He asked one question. I said, "Fuck it, I don't need his help. Goddamn, fuck him, goddamn phone." She was
So
like,
I didn't hang up.
took it off speaker.
Took it off speaker. I was like, all right, so we're just gonna do this really quick. And I worked it to where it worked in his favor, and everything's a go now.
And that was just me being me, though.
That was,
Like,
and we had to work through that. See, and that's the thing where a lot of people, some people aren't cut out to do this. Some people will not go through the waves and the emotions of dealing with a combat veteran and being their caregiver.
turn on. I'm emotionless.
All right.
Maybe Kevin, alter ego.
The alter ego, here he comes.
My no chicken list.
No chicken.
Thank you, Dad.
Dad's watching. I'm sure he's
Luckily, that place doesn't exist anymore. Otherwise, I would still be blackballed from ordering chicken.
There's another story behind this whole Kevin guy.
Riddick's baby mom even worked there, and I was still blackballed. Hey, best friend's
She
baby
put
mama worked
you
there.
on there. She's highlighted your
She
name.
wasn't there yet. She might have brought it back up though. She's like, "That's not his real name. You know that, right?"
No, his real name is, and he calls from this number.
What tier do we get? We still gotta get the final rating, or whatever, for that, because they got tiers of levels or whatever.
Yeah, it's a process though, and we're getting through it.
And it's really not that bad of a process, honestly.
No, it's not that bad. Not when you have people who really know what they're doing on the other end too.
That makes a huge difference.
Yeah.
If people would just learn their job, if they would just learn what they're supposed to do, what's asked of them,
Yeah. What
it
they're
makes things
paid
go
for.
so much easier.
What they get their great benefits for.
That don't look great, but
They think it's great.
it works for them. So.
But do we have any questions? I mean, is anyone else out there a caregiver for a veteran, a spouse, a wife?
Oh, got some stories. I know there's some stories out there.
Do they have questions about anything?
You haven't really had to deal with the VA too much either yet, though.
I've dipped and dabbled a little bit.
So that's a whole nother animal right there with it. They're a branch of legislature, so they do their own thing. Like, it's crazy. They have so much more authority than just like a regular hospital.
I'm aware of the consent
And that's why they
forms.
don't have to answer to nobody or anything. So that's why they're such dicks.
Well, I had one run-in with them a few weeks ago when I was trying to schedule that doctor's appointment.
Yeah, it's not like I'm giving you his information. I'm not trying to get it from you. So,
Yeah, so I've been in the medical field for over 10 years, and these women were acting like I was trying to violate all kinds of HIPAA laws, and privacy.
I just like saying HIPAA.
You just like this.
HIPAA.
These women were just being absurd. They didn't want to schedule an appointment because, first of all, I didn't call in and say I was his wife. So I don't need to say that every time I call in because I am not. I am his caregiver. So they said that since they hadn't received our forms yet.
Those always get lost in the mail.
Those forms, those great forms that are already on their way, they decided to not help me. So I went above them and I decided to speak to some supervisors. They didn't like that either.
Hey, everybody's got a
But
boss.
this rings true to the fact of him saying that they really don't have to do anything for you. But on the other hand, if you find the one on the phone, hang up, call back. You'll get another one. That's my big one.
Hang up.
I hang up and I call back. They make their internal notes, but I work around them. And I just change the tone of my voice after I calm down a little bit. It's becoming asymptomatic a little bit.
Come asymptomatic. You come like me. Not everybody can handle things like that.
No, but it just takes a little bit of patience. Learn about it. Educate yourself. All I can say.
Am I in
about it.
Palo Alto system? Yeah, I believe I am. I don't
Yes, you are.
really deal with them much at all.
I do.
It's like dragging a child in when you gotta deal with the doctors. I feel like doctors are where you go to die. You don't get good news there. They never just say, "Hey, congratulations, you're doing great." They just tell me stuff I've already heard or stuff I don't want to hear. So why would I go?
That's changing. It's changing soon.
Hey, look, Jen's calling. Right in the middle of my show. Of course you would.
Of course you would. Oh, where'd she go?
Nope, no, I'm bringing her up now.
It's not gonna get feedback. Let us know if you guys hear any
Oh,
feedback.
okay.
It shouldn't.
Yeah, it's fun. Hey, little one.
How's life down there?
Oh, good. You know, just doing the show and stuff. You know, right in the middle of it. It's cool. Like what you call right. You either call right before or right on time or right during. Right.
Is Summer still pregnant?
Yeah. It's unfortunate. She's getting big. Don't you guys Skype? You got Skype.
I don't know. My passing.
Lie to me. I'm your father. You can't lie to me.
Really don't.
You're lucky because if you had Skype, I was gonna bring you on and we was gonna talk. You ain't got Skype, so you ain't cool.
Yeah.
Alright, let me back to you because I'm on the show.
Hey, love you, bye.
I haven't talked to her in like a week.
Really? That
Yeah,
long?
it's been a minute. Well, because I was sick. I was dying. I was dead. Couldn't move. Remember? It was crazy.
He was dying.
Hey, Myra.
Oh yeah. Hi, babe.
What's up?
That's Myra. You haven't met Myra yet.
I don't know.
She's my best friend of
I
like
very well
15
could
years.
have, dude. You know me. I gotta
No,
meet
this is
somebody
one you
like.
haven't met because she doesn't come around.
Oh, Myra's getting drunk.
I
up
have to
her
go to
ride.
her, and I have to say hi over this,
Over a fence.
over
Oh,
over a fence.
in the streets, son. Ran into her on the Facebook streets.
I had to go steal my protein mix back from her. That's the only reason why I saw her the other day.
Stealing the protein mix. She said, I have it.
She said what?
She said she hasn't.
See, she don't know. She hasn't seen me.
Mm.
Well, here he is, Myra. Meet.
Hey. Nah, because I get people like all the time. They're like, I met you before. I'm like, oh, okay.
No, I'll tell you if you met someone.
You know what's funny though? Is like, it's always funny to me the stories people have of how we met or like shit that we've done together, and I'm just like, oh yeah, we did do that. Like, it's not even like a blip on a map sometimes. But it's like a crazy story for them. It's like a big life event. Like,
It's written in their journal.
yeah. I should have kept one of those.
A journal?
Yeah.
That's what we don't need.
Yeah, that's probably incriminating.
No, yeah.
Right, very good.
A few felons.
It wouldn't be like, dear journal, today I made soup.
Like, if I'm not gonna make it look sexy.
So things up. And I pulled up one day fast, man. And she was on time. Like, right when I pulled up, it was like, and then when I killed the engine, it was just on time. It was so funny. Everybody's just looking. I was like, yeah,
You lie. You started the song over before you got there. You stopped at the alleyway. You're like, hold on, I gotta put my theme song on.
Look at it. He said something about, you can email anything you need to fax or email if it has to do with the caregiver program, your caregiver support coordinator. They do tell you about the acceptors. Yeah, it's I think that's the little Asian chick, right?
Yeah.
That's the one that you're dealing with. That's our care coordinator.
Yes. She's awesome.
What's her name?
Lori.
Lori. Yeah, she's cool. She's hella funny. She came through. Every time she come through, she wanted to check on the plants. She wanted to check on plants.
That's the kind of caregiver
coordinator
we
in California.
need. She's with the shit.
Because like
I like
remember
her.
the very first home inspection, the cold time, she was nervous about it. She was like, "What about the plants?" I was like, "What about them? I don't care." And so I was sitting there smoking during the intake or whatever, and they were like, her dad's a vet, and he was like, "Oh, he can't be smoking so much weed. They're gonna, discontinue his pay and blah 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 blah." All this does is keep them from giving me their drugs.
Right. It keeps them from prescribing and.
They tell me all the time that they want me to stop smoking the devil's tobacco and get on their stuff, and I keep denying it. And anytime they test me, I test positive for this, so they won't give me their drugs.
Which is a great thing because then they can't push it on him. All they get to do is document that he is still self-medicating with cannabis. That's what we say.
I'm a drug user. I'm on drugs.
The correct wording on the caregiver end is that he's self-medicating with cannabis. See? There's medicine.
I'm on drugs.
I think the drugs are on you.
Jared Marston joined.
Jared Marston?
So anybody out there, nobody's got no caregiver stories yet? Because I know there's been some crazy ones. Oh man, there's just been some crazy incidents. You haven't had to deal with the VA too much. I remember one time I was sick as a dog. I was waiting to go into the VA because that's what they tell you to do. You know what I mean? Go into your VA, don't go to the ER or whatever. So I waited all night. Got in there, ended up passing out in the waiting room of the VA when they opened. And these dudes were like, you need to call an ambulance, you need to go to the hospital. I was like, why did I wait all night to pass out in your waiting room? I was so hot. I was so mad. I was ready to come home. I was trying to come home. I was trying to leave, but they called the paramedics. They called the ambulance, and the one that comes in is slow Phil. He just happened to be right there, like, and I look up and he's like, "Come on, bro." I was like, "Fine." I was like, "If you're taking me, I'll go." I was like, "Well, I'm not going." But I knew he would take me straight in. He'd put me with people he knew, and they'd get me in and out, and I wouldn't have to sit there and just blah all day. So
you had one foot in the door.
Because I knew who was taking me out.
Actually, you had a few feet.
Probably both, but, you know. What's up, Rob? Hey, Rob came out. I'm glad you came out the other day. I haven't seen him in a minute. Rob, my boy from UOP. He's doing good things. He's volunteer, or he was volunteering. He's actually on now, but...
That's one of the birthday party?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Working with the troubled youth and stuff. He's telling the gang members to, you know, put their skinny jeans down.
Put their skinny jeans down. Oh, no, wait. This was the guy that they hired to tell the people to stop.
Yeah, to put their skinny jeans down. Then he left switching to another and finally left. But I don't... Lopez is saying something about the pay schedule, but... No, I'm still waiting on that list from you. Talking about you was going to give me some names and some organizations and stuff, and then you ain't even do it. I'm going to be out here gangbanging now because you ain't doing your job. I don't see this. I don't see this.
What? What were you saying?
I was like, how my arm disappears. He said, what's up, Letty?
Leticia.
Leticia. I can hear the accent. I can hear the accent.
It sounds super
Mexican. He's got like an accento in his name. In his talk.
Roberto?
Yeah. Well, change the name. That's what you told me to put.
Letty was fine.
Oh, Jesus.
I don't mean change it now.
Right.
You're going to accidentally, like, end the show.
If only it was that easy.
What's on, right?
Not much. We were talking about caregiving, and then we was talking about just the frustrations of being a vet and dealing with us. Like, what's some of the stuff that I know sets you off, especially because I know you're dealing with all these troubled youth and stuff. I don't know, I feel like I could relate easier with the goons on the street, and because it's all about, you know, respect and keeping to yourself and kind of minding your own business, and I can deal with that.
But it's choppy.
What happened? Oh. I hope it's just your internet. I don't know. It might be mine. Close some stuff down. Uh-oh. I hear kids and dogs and...
One of the kids is yelling.
No one's crying.
They're not crying, so they're fine.
I'm not crying. Good.
The show can go on.
But, yeah, so, about the names. Oh, he works for organization, or he works for the city, getting the gangs to stop the violence. It's gotten real bad out here in Stockton lately. I don't know any guys from around here or whatever, but it wasn't like this when I left. I left it was about 15 years ago now, 16 years ago now, but it was, I mean, we fought a lot. I mean, there was a lot of fights. You know, it wasn't nothing to see a group of guys fighting. You know, somebody might get beat with a bat. They might get stabbed every once in a while. You'd hear about shootings every once in a while, but it wasn't like it is now. Like, everybody's just so quick to shoot.
Too trigger happy.
It's like you're not even nothing if you ain't pulled the trigger yet. And it's like, and it's not even like they're hitting targets. They're like just shooting to shoot. It's ridiculous.
It's like they got all that money for ammo.
Right? That was getting expensive.
I see.
There got to be somebody out there packing their own ammo nowadays.
I see these young cats just counting money just like this, just publicizing everything, and they just rat on themselves.
Oh yeah, dude, because they will use that on you in court. They will bring that up in court. Like, we bring to you his Facebook page, and you're like, I thought that was... No, it says public, dude.
Public until you're followed by an undo.
Yeah, and most of them are too stupid to realize it.
Right. You see a cute girl in the picture and think, yeah, I want her to follow me. Oh, you're guilty? No.
I'm like, who are you, ISIS?
ISIS.
I know it's ISIS.
You're too pretty to be local. Who are you?
You ain't from Stockton. You ain't got no bullet holes. You ain't got no kids.
You You ain't on Section 8.
You ain't for Stockton. You ain't checking one of them boxes. You done moved. That's evidence. Didn't come back. She was like, I'm out. I'm going. But no, he works with the
Smoke is burning my eyes.
getting the gangs to put the stuff down. You mean to stop the beef because it's usually over nothing. It's over foolish pride. It's because two bulls get locked in and they're too prideful to say it's enough. Neither one wants to back down and realize that it's okay. Like we don't have to keep killing each other. What's up, D? I ain't seen D in a minute. He had a kid and then he went and got all daddy daycare on us and like just disappeared.
Why? Because he became the hardest stay-at-home mom you knew?
Right? Nah, he don't bake yet. I don't know. He might got his baking game up yet. I ain't seen him in a while. Speaking of which, I gotta eat some of these damn bars. I haven't had any of these.
You've been making all this
I
stuff.
know, I've been making them, but I ain't been eating them. I didn't eat none of the limited yet.
He bragged all about it.
Hey, they dangerous, man. After what they did to my dogs, man. They almost killed my dog. I thought Buddy was dead. I had to carry him everywhere. He couldn't walk. He was done for like a good solid 2 days. By the third day, he started kind of coming out of it. On the fourth day, he was finally like back to normal. But up till then, it was rough, man. It was scary. I was really worried about it.
Hey, what's up, D? Though, when are you gonna bring that baby by?
Little Jordan.
You know we gotta smell the baby.
Hey, you know what though?
Better than drugs. Smell
Everybody
the baby.
keeps saying, like, I've heard a lot of people lately, because I know quite a few people having kids. They're like talking about how they were so happy they had the son first and this and that. And I really wanted a son when I found out my ex was pregnant. But I'm so glad I didn't have a son first. Like, he would have been a little shithead.
Yeah.
He would have been a little asshole. Like,
because I mean, Jasmine,
she's already she's rough enough. You know what I mean? And
can you imagine?
And that was me trying to teach her to be nice. Like, I would be like, hey, you
trying to
can't
put some
take
layers
shit
on
from
it?
nobody. You better. Like, it would have been bad. Like, he'd been chingon at like 10. You tell me nothing. Pick either that,
you know
or
who my dad is?
Or he'd have been really
like.
gay. Like one or the other.
Oh, he would have been flaming?
Because he would have went full against it. You know what I mean? Because I'd been too hard on him, and he'd have just been like, "I'm not doing that."
There's always one in the
I
family.
hate you, Dad.
There is always one in the family, though. I mean,
but
you would be the lucky one to get it.
But yeah, so it's like it would have to be either way because Jazz is already like everything you do is dumb. Like, yeah. Hey, she told me I can't listen to Fora.
Yeah, what's up with that? She told you can't listen to Fora? Like, what, our generation can't listen to Fora?
She said he's millennial. I was like, I'm millennial. She was like, yeah, but you're not like my millennial. You're like the old millennial.
The older
like
millennial?
the upper end millennial. She's like, I'm barely your millennial.
You know what, though? At least she tell the real. She's on it.
It's funny to me that she knows that much. She's only 13. Like, talking to millennials.
She's your child. What do you expect?
Yeah, a little didact. And she cracks me up. She knows when my show is. She refuses to watch it. She refuses to pay attention.
But she calls right now.
But she knows when it is.
She was like spot on, right?
It's just smiling.
She knew.
She already
knew. I told you that girl has an alarm set on her phone.
I think she does. Because I told her last time, I said, why do you always call me right before during my show? And she just smiles.
She knows.
I was like, if you want to be on it, just Skype in. I was like, I'll tag you in.
She don't want to be on it. She wants to interrupt it.
But when she was on, she did really good. Like at the studio stuff, she did really good.
I remember that one. She did do really good.
She hit me up the other day, asked me for updated email information and stuff because they're updating the logs.
Are you gonna go back to it?
I didn't even know I had something to go back to.
I mean, obviously they're still contacting you.
I guess I just gotta go by school and get my damn degree finished. Like, because that teacher, I'm telling you, like, this is another one of those things where this is where my PTSD, in my opinion, shows. I needed one elective credit, which my instructor even told me. She said, just go get a CAP eval done. They'll re-adjudicate one of your, associate classes that can be classified as an elective, and you'll be good. I'm like, no. I was like, I need one more credit. The VA's gonna pay for it. I'll just take another semester, like just BS, And she was like, you're retarded, whatever. So that's when I took my Media 101 course. And that was like, this is a directional microphone. This is a boom microphone. This is a shotgun microphone. This is a cone microphone. And I'm like, that was like 3 lesson plans. So
this was 101.
Yes, it was basic, like low basic. So I didn't. It took me a long time to get the book. It took me a long time to get the software and everything because I started the class late and everything. And then I was learning Apple at the time because I just got my Apple.
Your Mac.
So yeah, so
So it helped, though.
It was a rough time because it was a lot of learning hard. So by the time I got everything caught up, like with the book and everything, I had done the radio interview for the school. I knocked that out, and then that was one of the things, mandatory things we had to do. We had to do a little commercial thing. That's when I did that shoe intervention.
That's cool.
So I did that, and those were like the two main things that if you did those, you were supposed to pass class. Everything else just got your grade up, basically. I know I failed a test or two in there, so I mean that's credits because I took it. So I did enough to get a D. You know what I mean? Yeah, that's all I needed. I didn't care. I wasn't looking at grad school. I just needed 1 credit out of the 4 anyways for, finish my degree. Well, the instructor really liked me. He wanted me to come back and start a show for the school. And he didn't want to give me a D. He's like, you're way better than that. He's like, the stuff you're putting out on air already is better than what I'm asking you to do. He's like, it's way more complex than what I'm asking you to do. He goes, so I can't really fault you. He goes, because your extra credit is way better than anything I'm asking you to do in this class. He was like, but at the same time, you haven't done anything from this class. He was like,
you can't prove shit.
Done no work. He was like, you got me nothing to justify.
We're not giving you your goddamn degree.
I'm like, go online, you can see it. It's all there. It's all kinds of videos. He was like, nah,
you're not accepting links at this
time. Yeah, so. But I'm like, you said yourself it's good. So he gave me an incomplete and gave me, another semester.
You know why? Yeah, he wants you to come back. He wants you to do what he wants you to do.
He gave me another incomplete. I don't know how many incompletes he could give me. That's like a year out already.
He's gonna keep doing it.
I'm not doing the work. I'm not doing it. I refuse to do it.
Si se puede.
I'm above it.
You can do it. You're above it. No, obviously not. You're incomplete.
No, but it's gonna. You know what it's gonna do is it's gonna make me have to relearn some shit because it's trying to force me to do it by book. And I've already done it my own stubborn way and learned it and figured it out my own way. So
they want you to prove it on paper.
It's like relearning the whistle.
But they want you to prove it on paper, and you know that. But it's their way because you're being difficult, so you don't want to do it their way.
I don't need my degree to give anything to this world. I could spread STDs just fine. Thank you.
Which brings us to get your damn degree, brother. Hold on. He said something about a housing Section 8 housing in Conway.
Hey, what's up, Nina? Yeah, he said Section 8 something about voucher waiver for Conway. You couldn't give me a voucher waiver. You couldn't pay me to stay in Conway. I went to school out there. I went to Marshall. Yeah, no, we used to walk.
Don't think you're hard because you went to Marshall. I went to Marshall.
I got kicked out of Marshall, son.
Okay. Yeah.
You ain't work.
That's why I got my home ec degree.
Hey, that's one thing
we were talking about the other day.
Yeah, that's one thing me and the other Gonzo were talking about, that they don't have that. They don't have no home ec no more. They don't have anything to teach.
I never saw it after 7th grade, to be honest with you. I didn't see it as an elective.
They had it at Stag.
Okay, that was when you were in school. There's a good 4-year difference between me and this man. So when I saw it, that was probably the last time that it was.
It may be. They probably realized that you guys were there burning toast.
We weren't burning toast. You guys
were flooding oatmeal, so they were like, you know what? It's a wash. Like, this generation is a waste.
Andale pues.
Paparazzi.
All right.
That's what they said. And it was my class that got the grad night at Stag cut down to like overnight when it used to be like 3 days, 4 days.
So it was your fault.
Yeah. That's when I got my first tattoo. That's when
good times.
Me and like 3 or 4 other guys that were under 18, we all went and got our tattoos. Like, we got somebody's sister, something was out there, so she got a bunch of alcohol because she was going to college out there. We came back with the party. Like, drunk and shit. We're all 17.
Wasn't it the night you're supposed to be sober?
Oh, dude, well, we were on a high school field trip. Like, of course. Like, we're on high school. Of course,
no, because now they have those ones like you get extra credit or something along those lines. Like if you stay in the auditorium and sleep over and don't get drunk.
What are you talking about?
I don't know. I didn't go.
Face right now. Why would you even bring something like that up? That is ridiculous.
I'm not saying I went.
You're like talking about some cult abstinence pledge type thing. You're like, what the hell? No.
It's because you never heard of it.
That makes it not cool. You read that one. No, it was a grad night. There was a thing where they used to go. It was down to SoCal. We went to some place and it was like a Disneyland overnight. They opened up Disneyland for all the high schools in the area, and we partied at Disneyland all night. And it was
And
just
you
like
must have
other
went
high
to one of
schools.
the rich schools, huh? Because I
Oh,
never
just
heard of it.
But I told you hear about it because we were seriously the last class. The next class, you know, Vanessa Mac's wife, her class down, they didn't. It was a one-night thing.
She didn't get to experience
yeah, because we used to go.
Fucked it all up.
We went down there and it was like one day was at like the big ball. It's hard for me to remember because they didn't go to any of it. I was not part doing the whole thing.
You didn't go to it. Can't remember because I wasn't there.
They had like counts, like head count almost, like where they would be like, you know, you got to make these counts or whatever.
I'm done with you.
And they gotta like you had to check in or whatever. Well, I wasn't there because I was out doing my own thing. I didn't know, and then they were like having all these emergency little lineups and everything because they were missing so many people. Because I wasn't alone. I led the remote like, hey, fuck this, let's go this way. I guess most 17-year-old kids wouldn't wander off in LA and shit, but I'm not most. I had already drove to Mexico by then. Like,
oh God,
so,
probably picked up a few on the way.
Oh yeah, so it was.
Love your show, bro.
It was a pleasure.
What about me? I ain't part of the show.
you just want to say you made a leave and stuff. They may feel something about themselves. You made a leave. You're wrong. Mikey's back. That's my boy Mikey. He's an officer now, even though he's crazy ass. Although he calmed down now, he does like marathons and the family thing.
Hey, don't hate on because of his marathons. Marathons are awesome.
I hate on because he's a cheap shot. Whore. What's up, Chris?
Wow.
Chris, I gotta talk to him still too because he's doing some other big things on his show.
On his show?
You don't know nothing about that.
No.
He just changed networks. He just went over to Twitch. I gotta learn about what Twitch is. I don't know what Twitch is.
Okay, we gotta see what Twitch.
The only Twitch I know is
his Twitch.
Is the soldier that I had. That was this dude. We got him.
Oh, that's right.
We got this soldier in Iraq, like back, like right at the end of our last tour, and probably 3 months out from going home in Ramadi. So I mean, it wasn't a great area, but it wasn't as bad as when we got there. And he gets out to us, and he's got this twitch that would just his cheek would just go, and it would just tweak his whole head around.
Uh-huh.
And he was country as hell. He was from Georgia. He used to wear coveralls that were like 6 sizes too small with nothing underneath, just like some skin tight coveralls.
It's my kind of man.
And just a mason jar and just country as hell, right?
Spitting.
And
you spitting too?
oh yeah, it was bad. And he gets in the tank, and we're out on sector one day. We're like, I don't know, on checkpoint. And I'm just sitting in the gunner's hole, and I'm grilling him, just asking questions to see what he's about. And I look over at him, and he's just sitting there answering the questions. He's just twitching. He's not looking at it. He's just kind of like looking down, but he's just twitching. I was like, man, what the fuck is that about? The crew was like, oh, come on, man. They're all on the headset. Like, come on, Sergeant, come on. I was like, well, I don't give a fuck. I'm going to ask him. I was like, y'all want to talk behind his back? I was like, I'm going to ask him, man, what the fuck's that twitch about? He goes, I don't know, sorry. He goes, I got out here, and I started trying to go, were you with somebody else before you got to us? Or something? Like, you look like you've been through hell, bro. Like, he's like, I don't know. He goes, I'm not scared. He goes, it just happens. I'm like,
his twitch just happened.
Yeah. So when we got back, first thing he does is crack a ball. He's drunk as a skunk. It's a miracle. Your twitch is gone.
So he was twitching when he was sober.
It was withdrawals.
Oh, that
it
bad.
was withdrawals from alcohol. Yeah, you can have withdrawals that bad, and he was having physical reactions. He was twitching. It was like his body was lacking alcohol because he drank so much that it physically caused him to twitch. Like
Poor baby.
He was that one that would go through like seizures and shit through withdrawals and stuff of alcohol and shit. Like it was bad for that dude, and it was, you know what it was.
Whatever happened to him?
He got in all kinds of trouble, man. This dude, he came back. We like had to restrict him from drinking. We'd catch him like putting bottles in like the fire hydrant like housings in the barracks and stuff. He was putting them. He would hide them in the washroom and like where the washer dryers were, up in the panels, up in the roof, like the spare panels. He'd move one, put bottles up there. He'd have like do some other units by because we were a small post, so we had him blackballed on post for anywhere for buying alcohol. Took his ID so he couldn't leave post. Like it was hard though because like our vending machine sold beer.
Oh wow!
So I mean, how do you keep someone like that from drinking when your vending machine literally sells it right there? You know what I mean? And we did our best. We tried, but I talked to him one time. He was telling me how like he was a prison guard before because he was like 30 something, like 33, 34. You gotta remember when I was in Germany, I was like 19 to 22 or some shit. You know? So I'm like this dude sergeant at like 20, and like talking to this 30-something-year-old man that's got a drinking problem, telling him how he can't drink. You know what I mean? And I was like, what? Like what happened, bro? He goes, I don't know. He goes, I used to work at a prison. He goes, and the guard, the inmates, he's always just talking down to me because he was a little funny looking dude. Like he was a little weirdo looking dude, and they would always talk down to him. They were real mean to him and stuff, like inmates are, And he couldn't take. I guess he flipped out and beat one with the baton real bad, like caught charges, like they fired him. His wife left him, like he like just started this big spiral effect. So he just left and became military. And I'm like, holy shit! Like when this happened, he's like 6 months. like it was all like hella recent. And then like as soon as he got out of basic, they sent him straight to us in Iraq.
Wow.
So like it was very recent for him. He was still processing. Like it was
he was
bad.
still processing a divorce, let alone
But then he ended up going back to. We got back from that deployment, and like right when we got back, they were deactivating our unit, so everything was gone. So like when we got back, there was nothing to do, nothing there. So everybody got the orders to leave and left real quick when we got back. Like it was bad. Like I felt like I got torn away from honestly because we were back for maybe 2-3 weeks, and then I was gone because Vanessa's grandma or something died, so we had to get back to the States early. Mm-hmm. So I left like 2-3 weeks early. Mm-hmm.
So explain what deactivating that means.
They brought our, because I was stationed in Europe, and in Germany they had, for one, they just had little parcels of land that they bought everywhere, or they were able to get everywhere. So it's like our unit was spread upon several different like plots of land. So it was like if you needed to do something medical, you had to jump on a bus and go 20 minutes down the road this way. If you wanted to go to the commissary, you had to go drive half hour over this way to this place. Different towns and stuff. So I mean, when we got back, they were trying to get the guys out of Europe. They're trying to like draw our forces back to the States, and so they deactivated like all of Northern Europe. They took all those bases and they shut them down. They moved back to the States. So my unit 237, they reflagged over at Texas at Fort. I can't remember. My buddy Borges was there. Ivan was there. They reflagged over in Texas somewhere, but as an infantry unit. So they restood up the 37th, but not as the same unit. But I guess they got a lot of unit history stuff there. He's got a yearbook or whatever that he found over there of us that like had my unit and like some stuff we did. So he's sending that to me every time he sees like one of our plaques or something. He'll polish it up and send me pictures and stuff. He'll get his extra duty guys and be like, "Hey, go clean that." Go clean it. So that's always cool, but since they were deactivating, since they were shutting the base down, they sent everything back. So like normally you'd have maintenance of vehicles, you would have weapons to clean, we had nothing. And then made coming back from Iraq easier because we left everything there. So it was like normally you'd have to get your vehicles ready to come home. You'd have to get them ready to get off the train, everything else. We had to, like there was nothing there we left in Iraq. It was like, here, sign for this. We signed stuff over to the Air Force, which was awesome because we had so many radio mounts missing and stuff from like taking them out, throwing them in gun trucks, getting blown up, or just transferring them between tanks. So it was just things got messed up. So we get there, and one thing we were really short on was radio mounts. And I remember our supply sergeant was kind of worried about it. And we get there, and the tech sergeant was like, "Hey, these are double DIN radios." We're like, "Yeah." He goes, "All right, so 2, 4." So he starts counting them as 2 per each double DIN when that's actually one unit. But there's 2 radio slots, so he just was counting them per radio slot, not per mount. So my supply sergeant was like, "Hey, man," I go, "He's counting them." He was like, we had overage. They were trying to give us stuff back, like, "Hey, we can't accept all this. Like, you can't just dump your crap on us." We're like, "No, you're gonna want those."
You're really gonna need those. Believe me.
You always want to have extra. It's good to have extra. But yeah, no. So that was a good time. So when we got back, there was nothing there. It was like, "Hey, go field strip that pen. 3 of you." Like
3 of you.
There's nothing to do. You're like, "Oh, here, you clean the spring and you clean the rod and like."
And I'll make sure that there's ink.
Make that shit last till lunch. Yeah, and so I don't know, but alright, I guess that's our time. Oh, I hear crying.
Yeah, baby's
so,
crying.
I appreciate it. You guys take care.